So any questions on that, guys? Okay. So in today's session, we are going to start with the CLI. How we can configure command line interface and how we can access all the resources by using that CLI tools, as well as some third-party tools, as well as I'm going to take an IDE, then I'm going to demonstrate one other thing. Okay. So first of all, whenever we are creating an IAM user, we got two access types, right? One is management console access. Second one is programmatic access. So far, we are using management console access. Say I logged in as Avinash user by using browser, and he have a policy called administrator policy. So that is why he is able to access all the resources. So I even enable billing permissions also for this user. So that is why he is able to perform all the operations. Okay. Now let's assume you are writing some code, and that code need to trigger one of the service. In simple, you are designing an application where it is going to upload an object to S3 bucket. Then it is going to upload an object to an S3 bucket. So you want to design that. So in that case, within your code, you cannot give your username and password, and you cannot open a browser. You cannot trigger to open a browser to perform the drag and drops or selecting particular buttons and all. Bit difficult. So as most of the times while we are designing programs, we will go with the API calls, APIs, right? Or SDK operations, software development kit operations, API calls. So in that case, we are going to use access key ID and secret access key. You can create for an existing user who already have management console access, or else you can completely create a new user. So you can get your access keys and secret access keys. For one user, you can generate only two. That is a limit we have. Again, we need to rotate those keys frequently. And this is just like a username and password, but you cannot use it to log in by using browser programmatically. By installing CLI tools or by using any of the IDE, you can access your AWS environment. For example, you have S3 platform. You have S3 platform. So there, you want to manage your S3 platform with the third-party application like S3 browser or Cloudberry Explorer or WinSCP. There, you need to use that access key ID and secret access key. And you have Visual Studio. You're writing all your code. From that IDE itself, you want to deploy your code automatically to one of the services like a EC2 or Elastic Beanstalk. So in that case also, we can simply integrate AWS plugin with our IDE like a Visual Studio or Eclipse or NetBeans. So then simply you can deploy all your code from your IDE itself. So there also we are going to configure access key ID and secret access keys. Okay. So if you have an application like which is running in like any of the third-party applications, like when something happened, you want to trigger automatically. When a couple of logs came, you want to immediately send that logs to applications like a Splunk or Nagios. You want to integrate your AWS environment with any other. So in that case, we are going to use access key ID and secret access key. But we have some disadvantages. We'll talk about that also. Okay. So I'm going to demonstrate this CLI with my local machine, and I'm going to demonstrate here. Then after, I'm going to launch one EC2 instance. I'm going to configure and I'll try to access some of the resources. Okay. So again, while creating a user, we need to allocate permissions, right? So the associate policy again plays key role here. whatever the policy you are associating to that user. For example, you associate a policy that contains S3 read-only access. If that user programmatically, if he trying to perform any like operation related to EC2 or any write operation, so he's going to end up with an error. Is going to end up with an error. Again, while creating user, whatever the policy you associated, that is always important. Based on that policy only, he is going to get permissions. So as I mentioned, like we have some disadvantages also. To overcome these disadvantages, Amazon introduced a concept called roles. But these roles, you cannot use it programmatically. For third-party applications, some applications will support, some will not support. But you can use on your AWS account, and you can share your resource with another AWS account also, without storing any access key ID and secret access keys. Okay. So first of all, I'm going to create an IAM user. And I'm going to give some basic permissions like a S3 read-only permissions to that user. And I'll configure CLI in my local Windows machine. Then I'll try to access resources. Okay. So let's navigate to IAM. For example, if you want to work with Terraform, you need to go with this access key ID and secret access key. Whatever the code you are going to write, so you have to go with that. We have some services where you can store these credentials secretly, like AWS Secrets Manager. You can store your username and password. And we have service like HashiCorp's Vault. Vault also is one of the service where you can store your sensitive informations. So, okay, that is bit advanced level. So let me click on add user. Here is a username. So I'm going to call this user as a CLI user. In future, I can enable password for this user. Or if you already have an existing management console user, you can generate access keys and secret access keys for that user also. So the username is CLI user. Access type. So far we are using this AWS Management Console access. Now I'm going to select programmatic access. I'm just selecting programmatic access. So I'm not going to get any sign-in URL. We will get while downloading that application, but we cannot use that to log in by using these credentials. So click on next. So this is permissions. What permissions you want to associate. So if you want to copy all the permissions from this, if you want to add this user to group, you can select this. Or if you want to copy permissions from an existing user, select this. Or he's just one user. So I'll attach permissions manually, directly. So navigate here and I'm looking for S3 read-only access. Click on next. Review screen. If you want to give any tags, you can give review and click on create user. Now we got access key ID and secret access key. We got access key ID and secret access key. This one is going to generate only once. If you click on close, for the same user, you can generate another pair, but not the same one. If it is a password, you have an option to reset, but this access key ID, this pair basically generate only once. Okay. So make sure you save this. So I'm going to download this to my local machine. So this is what the username, access key ID, secret access key, and console login link. See, this password is empty. Why? Because we just selected programmatic access, not management console access. Okay. So now click on close. So here is a user. If you want to verify what level of access you have, select your IAM user, go to security credentials. So here when you scroll down, it tells us, okay, what is the access key ID, when it got created, when it last used. whether it is active or not. Once you're done with this, you can select make it inactive. Once you're done once you're done with the usage, you can make it inactive, or you can select this into mark, it is going to delete. The credentials are not going to be work now if you make it inactive or if you delete it. Okay, and if you observe, console password is disabled. That means this particular user cannot log in by using browser. Why? Because password is disabled. Okay, why? Because we selected only programmatic access, nothing more than that. Okay, now so if you want to use the CLI, or if you want to test the CLI in your local machine, you need to have whatever machine it is. First of all, you need to have CLI tools. CLI tools. To download that, URL is aws.amazon.com/CLI. Command line interface. Go here. Based on your operating system, you can pick this. If you are using Amazon Linux, by default we are going to get that. If you are using any Mac or Linux, give this pip install AWS CLI, and prerequisite is Python 2.6.5 or higher. If you want to install Python in Linux operating system, here is the one. Pip, just open this, it will tell pip install how to install and all. So here, installation, go here, just download and run this. Okay, so this is the installation part. So make sure you install this first, then run this command. If you are using Mac or any other Linux, if you are using Windows, based on your operating system architecture, whether it is a 64-bit or 32-bit, click on that, immediately one file is going to download. See here, one file is downloading. It's a 20 MB file. So it's a typical Windows installation, nothing advanced, like just simple double click, next, next, next. I accept terms and conditions, next, next, and finish. Okay. So once you're done with that installation, you can start using a command called AWS. So generally, this Windows operating system cannot recognize this AWS as a command. So whenever you are giving, it will tell whenever you are before installing, whatever the command you are giving with AWS, it tells us, okay, AWS is not recognized an internal external command for operable program or bash file. It gives this error. If you are getting this, this means CLI tools not installed in your machine. Okay, if your terminal is already open, close it and open a resession. Okay, so once you're done with that installation, if you want to verify whether it is installed successfully or not, give AWS space --version. When you enter this AWS space --version, it tells us the installed AWS CLI tools version. AWS CLI 1.16.174 is installed in Python 3.6.0, and that is a Windows 10 operating system. Okay, that means I already have AWS CLI tools. That is why I'm able to, this system is able to recognize AWS command. Okay, so that is the first thing. Okay, I'll write down these things. AWS space --version. To verify your installed version, aws.amazon.com/CLI is a place where you can download your CLI tools. So once you got the output with this AWS space --version, you need to configure that created user. So we are nowhere given rights, right? So for example, I'm trying to list all the buckets, S3 buckets. So I'm going to give AWS space S3 space ls. I'm going to give a document for all these commands. And it is saying invalid access key IDs and all, or you have not configured any credentials. And it will tell us, make sure you run AWS space configure. So it gives this basically. So here's the credentials we have. Now I'm going to configure this user here. So to configure this user, any of the user, AWS space configure is a command. Then click on enter. Then it is asking for AWS access key ID. What is the access key ID you want to give? Grab your access key ID and paste it here. Click on enter. What is your secret access key? My secret access key is this. Click on enter. What is the default region name? So it is picking automatically AP-South-1 just because of like my existing configurations. Okay. If you want to give any specific region, give that region code. Otherwise, click on enter. It is going to pick AP-South-1 as a default option. Okay. So if you set it to none, if you want to give, you can give none also. If you are setting it to none, whatever the command you are executing, always you need to use -region parameter. For example, EC2 is a region specific service, right? But IAM is a global. What are the user I am configuring? Is a global user, not a region specific user. See, this is a global. It does not require any region selection. That means he can access all the resources from all the regions. So now I want to access one of the service from another region. So then you need to give -region parameter. So okay, at moment I'll go with the default option, and the default output format basically it is a none. So you can give JSON or you can keep it none. The default output format also like a JSON only. So now I have configured CLI user. So earlier when I gave this command AWS space S3 space LS, it thrown an error, right? Now after configuring this user, I'm entering this command and now I'm able to see all my buckets. It is showing all my S3 buckets. Okay. So if you want to go inside one particular bucket and if you want to view objects inside that bucket, AWS space S3, generally syntax is AWS is a common if you want to trigger to AWS, then space, then the service name. So if you want to IAM, if you want to trigger EC2, AVC2, if you want to trigger S3, S3. So S3 is easy to understand and easy to demonstrate. So we'll see S3 commands. AWS space S3 space LS. When you click on enter, it is listing most of the commands like a Linux based, Linux style commands, CP, MV, RM. Okay. So now AWS space S3 space LS, I want to list all the objects from a particular bucket. S3 : / bucket name. For example, I want to list all object from the bucket list object, no such bucket. That means bucket does not exist. See, I'm listing all the objects from a bucket called Avinash66. So within that we have Avinash AWS.pdf, 730.txt, EC2 and Linux.txt. So let's try to access EC2. For that, AWS space, EC2 space, I want to get information about all running instances. So I'm going to use describe-instances command. So generally this describe-instances, what it will do, it is going to get running instance information or stopped instance information. And it is saying unauthorized operation. Why? Because we have for this user, the configured user, we have given only S3 read-only access. So you do not have any access on EC2, so that is why he is not able to. Okay. So Let's look into a couple of more S3 commands. So I want to upload one of the object from my local machine to AWS environment. So in that case, AWS space S3 CP is for copy. So I want to copy one object from my local platform to S3 bucket. So AWS space S3 space CP. So then give your local path. For example, let me create a folder with the name called AWS. Seems it's already there. Okay, it is empty. And I'm going to, I'm going to upload, I'm going to copy one file here. So now I want to move this object to my AWS one of the S3 bucket. So for that, AWS space S3 space CP space your local path. For example, if your folder name contains spaces, for example, I have, let's assume you have CentOS and that contain one space. So I want to point this. So in that case, what you can do is you need to give colon. Otherwise, it will look for this particular path only. But in between you have spaces, right? So you need to give colon if your folder name contains spaces. So, but I taken the AWS one, right? So we do not have any spaces here. So then our local path slash cw.txt. Okay. Then space our S3 bucket. S3 colon slash slash. S3 colon slash slash. Then your bucket name. For example, I want to upload to bucket called Avinash66. Whenever we are trying to upload this, it is saying upload failed. So the reason is access denied when calling the put object operation, access denied. Why? Because the configured user have permissions to only read only. He is able to list all the objects from the same bucket, AWS space S3 space ls. I'm able to list the objects, but I'm not able to write the objects. So again, the associated policies always matter. So now I'm going to elevate this user permissions to S3 full access. So here is a console, CLI user, add permission, attach existing policies directly, S3 full access. I believe you still remember that policies, evaluation. So now, is he, can he perform the write operation now? He have read only as well as full access. Can he? Yes. He can. Denny is always going to take effect. Am I explicitly dennying something here? No, right? So again, if you really don't want to confuse and all, remove this. Okay, so here is a Amazon S3 full access. So now let's try to perform same operation. I'm trying to copy one object. There you can see it got uploaded. It is success. A minute back we got an error. And let's try to access. See this cw.txt is available, and see this at this particular point of time it got uploaded. That object creation date, basically these are. So December 7th, 12th, December 2nd at 8 a.m. This is the size of that object in bytes, and this is what the object name. Okay. So if you want to download any of the object, the command is same, AWS space S3 CP source will come first, then space destination. So I want to download an object like ec2.txt. S3 colon slash slash Avinash66 slash ec2.txt, then space, then give your local path. For example, I want to download to this particular path. So at moment I have only one object. Giving this, click on enter, and it got downloaded successfully. When you go here, ec2.txt is set. And we have a command like a sync. So we use this command most frequently. For example, who really don't want to use services like a data sync and all. Okay, we have a dedicated service to maintain synchronized data between AWS and AWS S3 and our on-premise. But if you really don't want to get charged for that service and all, you can use this sync command. It continuously monitor your local folder as well as AWS environment, and whenever the command is triggered, it is going to verify and it is going to upload or download objects. Any modifications happen. So the command is AWS space S3 space sync. So now I want to, whatever the data I have in my S3 bucket, I want to download all the data to my local machine. And I want to make it as a continuous process. So then we can go and we can give sync command. Then I want to download everything from my S3 bucket. Then where do you want to download? I want to download to this local directory. Then click on enter. It verifies, okay, how many files are there. Then out of all 5 files, it just downloaded only 3 files. Why? Because it just verified our local directory and S3 platform. So we already downloaded a couple of objects, right? So that is why it skipped that. Linux.txt, Avinash AWS and AWS 730 only downloaded. So again, if you are running same command again, nothing. Why? Because no changes happen, right? So if you perform any changes in your S3 bucket, you can rerun this command again, it is going to. So in our Linux, you can configure a cron job. In our Linux, we can give this command in cron, then it is going to trigger frequently. In our Windows, we have a task scheduler. You can go to task scheduler. There you can trigger to open a command and you can trigger to execute this command. So go to task scheduler. So create a basic task, or you can go with the create task option. So create a task, for example, so S3 replica. Then when do you want to perform? Daily, weekly, monthly, one time, when the computer starts. So take that, and at what time you want to reoccur for every one single day, or you can select that. Then start a program, click on next. What is the program? You can give that command cmd.exe, and what is the options you want to give. For example, the command is AWS space S3 space sync, then your S3 bucket, then your local path. Then finish this. So one job is created. So whenever you want to, you can just go there and you can trigger that job. So that is going to trigger automatically. So by using this task scheduler, so if you want to create some advanced task, go to create task. So I just selected basic task actually. So here, what is the name you want to give? Who is the author? So run only when user is logged in, or run with highly privileges. Then when do you want to trigger this? Click on new, weekly, daily, monthly. So repeat task for every 1 hour or for every 5 minutes if you want to. You can select this option from this particular day to from this particular day. Repeat this task for every 5 minutes. So then you can just simply trigger that option. Okay. So that is like you're using this command to maintain replicate data. So let's try to replicate from our local machine to S3. AWS space S3:// then your bucket name. Is trying to verify on both having same copies or no. So if you add any other new file here, for example, I'm going to add asd.txt here. So then if I'm rerunning this command, it is going to upload that asd.txt. Okay. So again, if you want to move a file from one S3 bucket to another S3 bucket, AWS space S3 space CP is for copy. Then your bucket name S3 colon slash slash Avinash 66, and I want to copy an object. First source, you need to mention source, then space destination. So I want to copy an object like a linux.txt2 an S3 bucket, S3 colon slash slash a bucket called Avisway. There you can see the copy operation is happened. If you want to create a new bucket, AWS space S3, MB is for make bucket. MB means make bucket, RB means remove bucket. MB means make bucket, RB means remove bucket. So I'm going to give MB, then what is the bucket name? S3 colon slash slash. So I want to create a bucket, avinash.cli.test. Hope nobody taken the bucket name. So click on enter. And make bucket operation is success, and it got created in our configure default region. So we selected our default region as a Mumbai while configuring that user. So automatically these options are going to trigger in that particular region. For example, you want to create this bucket specifically in any of the region, -- region parameter. You can give a specific region parameter, and that bucket got created. So let's go there and verify. So I'm navigating to S3. So here bucket got created, CLI test, and it got created in Mumbai region. CLI test 1 got created, it is created in Northern Virginia. Why? Because while configuring I have given -- region parameter. Then it is going, this action is going to trigger that particular region. Even it is a global, but I've created a bucket in Northern Virginia. So that is why while configuring CLI user, selecting region is important. And we have a S3 CLI cheat sheet. So I'm going to share that. Along with that, so this is how exactly we can manage or we can access resources from our local machine. Let's quickly launch an Linux EC2 instance, and let's try to configure this and try to access a couple of resources. So I'm using EC2 platform in Mumbai region, and I'm launching an instance. Launch instance, Amazon Linux AMI, T2 Micro, and I'm going with all the default options. Next, 8 gigs, tags, this is a Linux CLI. Click on next, and I'm selecting an existing security group. So new SG for web servers, okay. Content port number 22, so absolutely fine. Review and launching using an existing key pair. So once instance is provisioned, just get connected to it. Now I have a question, like so here this instance is running in AWS environment, right? I have some S3 buckets also in this environment. Can we access the data? So I have a server in my AWS environment, and in same AWS environment I have some S3 buckets also. So can the server directly access the data?
We can transfer the file.
So you mean yes? No.
Not directly.
Not directly. You need to configure an IAM user, or you need to configure a role, then only it works. So I'm going to get connected to this instance, expand connection, select SSH, browse your required key pair, click on open, and we got connected to this machine. Default username is EC2-user, sudo space su, here on the screen. First of all, let's verify whether CLI tools got installed or not. So AWS space --, version, and it is installed. Okay. So if you want to install, if you want to install, just give this /CLI and pip install AWS CLI. Just give this command. So it will, pip is not found, that means again you need to install those. But however, by default we are going to get this. So let's try to access our S3 bucket. AWS space S3 space ls, and it's saying unable to locate credentials. You can configure credentials by running AWS space configure. This S3 bucket is in my AWS account and is easy to instance also in my AWS account. When I'm trying to access, it is saying unable to locate credentials. So by defaultly, there is no communication between these services. So you must enable manually. So by configuring CLI user, we are going to. Then AWS space, configure, click on enter, access key ID, grab this access key ID, AWS secret access key, default region name. If you want to set it to none, you can set it, or else you can give output format none. Now we configured a CLI user here. Let's try to run this AWS space S3 space ls, and there you can see we are able to. And this configured user have full permissions on S3 platform, so you can perform whatever you want. AWS space S3 space RB. For example, I want to delete a bucket. Remove bucket is success. So whenever you're trying to remove bucket and all, so it may throw some errors. Like in that case, what you can do is you can give --, recursive. So if you have nested file structure also, like a folder inside a folder. So if you have file structure like that, so it may not allow you to upload along with that file structure whenever you are trying to upload over CLI tools. In that case also you can use --, recursive parameter. So then it is going to, it will try to delete. So mainly whenever you are performing copy operations and all, it works for us. Okay. So now I'm trying to get information about running EC2 instance. At least it should show information about the same EC2 instance, but it is saying unauthorized operation because CLI user does not have valid permissions. Okay, so this is from Linux operating system. Now, why Amazon will not recommend you to go with these options? So the reason is, whatever the credentials you are configuring it here, it is going to be stored in plain text format in our local machines. If you go to home directory of this user, you give ls space -a. -a means it is going to list hidden directories also. We got a directory called .aws. If you go inside the .aws, if you give ls, we have two files, config, and second one is credentials. Let's look into this credentials file, and it is showing our access key ID and secret access key. For example, you took a screenshot of this. You take a screenshot of this and you configured in your local machine. That means you got all the, all access, all my resource access. You can install CLI in any of the machine and you can access all the resources. Okay. Not only that, like whenever you are making these public images and all, make sure you remove such type of credentials from your EC2 instances and all. That is also important one. When coming to Windows machine, what are the user configured here? For example, if you gave who am I? So I'm working as a user called Avinash Reddy. So in this user's home directory, under C, users, this user's particular home directory, we got a folder called .aws. If you go inside the .aws, we have a file called credentials. If you open this file and if you view this, The same thing, access key ID and secret access key is stored here. Okay, so if I forgot to lock my device and you have taken a picture of that or you have copied that into your local machine, again, my account is compromised. That is why we have a concept called roles that we will discuss. But before that, we can use this tools with some third-party applications. With some third-party applications, for example, to manage S3 platform, we have Cloudberry Explorer. So they are giving a free version also, freeware. You can just download that freeware and you can explore that. Here, download freeware. So even you can test that professional features for 15 days. So just go here and download freeware. So enter your email ID, just select I'm not a robot and download that and install. So then you are going to get an application like this. Cloudberry Explorer for Amazon S3. Not only this, you know WinSCP. Generally, WinSCP is a cross operating system file transfer application. Okay. So for example, I want to send or I want to upload one file from my local machine to this Amazon Linux instance. I want to move one file. For example, I'll go to home directory of EC2-user. If I gave ls, nothing, ls-8 is showing some hidden directories and all. Now I have a file called cw.txt. I want to move that file to my Linux EC2 instance. So in that case, directly copy and paste is not a best option. For example, if it is simple text, you can do that. But let's assume it is an image, what you can do. If it is a Windows, yes, you can just directly copy and paste as your base machine also having Windows operating system. But when coming to Linux, you can use such type of applications. So here, what is a host name? So this is what public IP address of our machine. Select SFTP. Port number 22 must be open. The default username is EC2-user. And again, how we need to give that identity? By browsing key pair. So go to advanced. Under SSH, select authentication. Browse your private key file again. This also, accepts PPK file. So whatever the PPK file you have for that EC2 instance, select that, click on login, and we got connected. So this left side, our local machine, right side, home directory of our EC2-user one. And where exactly your file is. For example, I want to move the cw.txt, simply perform drag and drop. Now that file got copied. If you gave ls, cw.txt is there. It got copied to our EC2 instance. Not only that, if you are taking image and all, you simply, so if you gave ls, a.png also copied from our local machine. So however, I opened, so that's why I opened this application, that's why I demonstrated this. So we can just close this session. Now, in the same, you can find Amazon S3. Go here, host name is s3.amazonaws.com, and it is asking for access key ID and secret access key. So grab this, give it here, secret access key also. Click on login. Now, these are all my S3 buckets. This is my local machine. So if I want to upload or if I want to download something, simply I can just go here and I'm simply performing drag and drops. It got uploaded. So we configured the CLI user. And this application have some less features, but the one I shown you, like the Cloudberry Explorer, it have a lot of features. We can create our local file path and our S3 bucket, and we can synchronize. And advanced feature like a commercial version have features. So I want to configure S3. So I'm selecting Amazon S3. Then give a double click. Then it is asking us for display name. So what name you want to give and what is the credentials you want to configure. So for your simple understanding, you can give AWS CLI demo. What is the access key ID? Give that. What is the secret access key? Give that here. Test the connection. It is attempting to connect it and it's going to verify whether this user have valid permissions or not in S3 platform. Then click on OK. So now just click here, select AWS CLI demo. So then this right side, all your S3 buckets. Left side, your local path, local files. And here you can go and you can create add sync and display name, your local path and your S3 bucket path. You can give, if you want to perform any synchronization, go here, click on sync now. It is going to synchronize automatically. Not only this, if any other user shared an S3 bucket with you, so by default that will not display here, guys. Whatever the bucket any other user shared with you, it will not display here. By using this feature, we can share our S3 buckets, right? By navigating to permissions, ACL, access for other AWS accounts. By using this feature, we can share. So if you want to access such type of buckets, either you need to access by using CLI user, or else you can use such type of third-party applications. Here, this is creating your own bucket. This is mapping an external bucket. Click on this, whatever the bucket he shared with you, give that bucket name and click on OK. So then you can find that bucket here. So you can use such type of application, or else you need to use CLI tools. You must configure CLI, then only you can access that particular S3 bucket. You can give a try with that option with another user. Okay, and when you give right click, it gives a lot of advanced options. So if you want to change bucket policies, or if you want to move all data to Glacier, or if you want to initialize restoration, or if you want to restore from Glacier, request replace, all options like a bit advanced options also you can find here related to S3. So by using third-party tools, we are accessing all this. And we used access key ID and secret access key here. Not only this, so like if you are using any IDE, you know, IDE, the place where we are going to write our code. So we have CLI tools. For example, AWS tools for Visual Studio. This is a place if you are using Visual Studio 2017 or 19 or 13 or 15, download and install this. Download and install, you are going to get a new option. Again, Visual Studio is not available in my machine. So okay, I have Visual Studio in this machine. So here it is. So simple, download this. Wherever you have your IDE, just download these tools and install in that machine. So then whenever you open your Visual Studio and all, simply you are going to get an option. So under options, you will get AWS Explorer. Generally, you won't find that option. And here you can start creating a profile. So click on add user. So, or let me configure this user. So profile name, CLI user, what is the access key ID? Give that access key ID and secret access key. Then account number is not mandatory. Just give OK. Now we created a user here and these are the services. From this IDE itself, we can start writing. So for example, if you want to access one of the S3 bucket, so just go here, pick what exactly S3 bucket you have, just give a double click and it is going to show you all the objects and all. Okay. And not only that, if you want to launch an EC2 instance also, here is an option. You can just go here, you can pick instances. So there you have an option like see, this is giving an error. Why? Because you do not have permissions. You are not authorized to perform this operation. So let's quickly elevate that user's permission. So that is like by you within IDE also we are going to use this access key ID and secret access key. So the simple thing mechanism is same. I'm trying to show. We are going to use this in various cases. And even for Eclipse or NetBeans also we can AWS CLI tools for Eclipse. You are dealing with Java and all. So just go here and here is a setup how you can configure. Okay. So just go here and it will ask us to install a small tool. Then you can start using that. Here is a URL. Here download the toolkit and you can start install. So let's quickly elevate that user's permissions and let's try to rerun that describe instances command. Users, CLI user, security credentials, permissions, add permission, attach existing policy directly, administrator access, review, add permission. Now, whenever we are trying to run this command, AWS space EC2 space describe -instances. Now we are able to get information about our running EC2 instance. Why? Because we have associated the required policy not only there, even in our local machine also, AWS space EC2 describe -instances. So if you want to get this information or this information for another region one, give region parameter. Here you can see, earlier we got an error, but now it is showing reservation. That means there is no instances in this particular region. But in Mumbai region, we have an instance and we are able to get all the information about the EC2 instance. Okay, so this is a basic introduction to CLI. And if you want to know more commands, so just navigate to the same page, CLI. Here we have a CLI reference. Go to that CLI reference document. You can get commands based on service. For example, if you are taking IAM, just look for IAM service and here these all are the available commands. These all are the available commands. So if you want to create a group, create -group option, -group name, what is the name you want to give. So then these are examples. AWS IAM create group -group name and name is admins. And output it displays okay whether that is successful or not. What is the ARM name of that? What is the group name and all. Let's give this. If this configured CLI user have valid permissions, so immediately that got triggered and we got a group. The group name is admins and these were the group ID, AR and Amazon resource name for that group and when it got created. So exactly same way you can look for any of the command. For example, add user to group, whatever the existing user you have. Add -user -to -group. So then what is the group name? What is the username? You can give this and this is what output you are going to get. This is an example. Whatever the user you are creating, you can. So again, you really no need to remember all these commands. So it is going to vary from service to service. So based on your requirement, you can take this CLI reference guide and you can perform that. And in this GitHub, I have a S3 CLI cheat sheet. So the one we used very frequently related to S3. So it is a one AWS S3 CLI.pdf. Just go here and you can download this into your local machine. This is what these all commands are related to S3 only. So I'm preparing an entire EC2 one. So I'll definitely upload here itself. Okay, commands related to EC2 or different services. So at moment practice with this S3 CLI. So now, how Amazon is suggesting us to use roles instead of the CLI tools, we'll look into that option now. So whatever the user you are configuring, like the credentials and everything is storing in plain text format, right? So that is not a secured option. So that is why whatever the resource you are going to run in your AWS account, make sure you use roles. So roles is always secure compared to using CLI. Okay, so now you can find that roles in our IAM dashboard. Navigate to IAM, and here you can find roles. I already started using these roles, and some are like a service related to, so we cannot delete this. Amazon is going to create automatically based on the service we are using. So let's create a user, let's create a role now. Okay, so now I cannot delete these. So click on create role. So are you using this role in your own AWS account? Then select this option. Again, to what service you are going to use this role? I'm going to use role with my EC2 instance. This role basically perform task on behalf of us. Whatever the, for example, from this instance, if I want to access some resources, so it is accessing based on the configured CLI user, right? Now, instead of that configured CLI user, it is going to perform actions based on the policy we are associating in our next screen. So this is for our own AWS account. The second one, another AWS account. So you have some resource in your AWS account and you want to share that resources with another AWS account user. Then you can just go here, pick this account ID. And in next step, you need to associate a policy. Then third one, web identity. Basically, we can use these IAM roles for third-party identity providers also. If you are using your own identity provider, you can just go here and you can give that. Okay. So for my application, I want to log in by using Amazon credentials, by using Amazon Cognito credentials, Facebook credentials, or Google credentials. So who is the audience and conditions? We can discuss these things in our Cognito. And SAML, if you are using our own corporate credentials with AWS, we can use this SAML, Secure Assumption Markup Language. You can use that, and who is your provider? You can configure that. So let's take first step one. So we are using this role in our own AWS account. First thing. Second thing, to what service you are going to associate? I'm going to use this role on my EC2 instance. So select that. Then click on permissions. When you associate this role to one of the EC2 instance, what level of permission that EC2 instance should get is policy. So I'm going to give S3 read-only policy. For this role, I'm associating a policy. Then click on next tag, then review. What is the role name? The role name is S3 read-only role. Is the name I have given. Then click on create role. Now one role got created. So if you want to search, you can just go here, S3 read-only role, just go here, what is the policy associated. So now if I associate this role to any of the EC2 instance, without configuring any CLI user, that instance can perform these operations. Or whatever the application running inside that instance, it can trigger this with this level of permissions. So let's quickly launch an EC2 instance. Launch instance, Amazon Linux AMI. T2 micro, and here we have an option called IAM role. After instance launch also you can associate. Just go here, select this S3 read only role. So I'm selecting that. Then click on next. 8 gigs tags. This is with roles option. Click on next. So you can choose an existing cyclic group or a new one, then click on review and launch using a key pair. Okay, so once this is ready, let's get connected to this machine, and without performing any additional options, let's try to access our S3 resources. Okay, so this instance is with roles, and I'm connecting to that instance. The default username is EC2-user. Now, this is the first time I configured. There you can see I'm able to access all my S3 buckets. So just because the role is associated here for this instance. So for example, if you detach this role, you can detach it. Just go here, click on no role, click on apply. Yes, detach. Now I'm running the same command again. After detaching that role, and immediately it is saying unable to locate the credentials. You must configure CLI user and all. If we associate that role, then immediately so once that association is completed, you can start accessing that. So you can associate, you can disassociate, even instances in running state also. Earlier we do not have this option, but from an year onwards, Amazon given this. And if you want to elevate permissions for that, select your role, go to attach policies. Is this success or taking some time? So let's create a new role and let's elevate that. So click on create role. I'm going to associate to EC2. Click on next. And this time I'm going to give administrator access. Click on tags, review. So admin access, click on create role. Admin role also created. Just go here, give a quick refresh and associate your role. So it got success. Now just go here, try to access. We are able to not only this, so it is asking to specify region, then give ---- region parameter. Then we are able to get all the information. So by using that roles, then only we are able to get the permission. Let's look into our home directory. Earlier, we have a directory called .aws, right? Now we do not have any directory with the name called .aws. That means without storing any credentials in this machine, we are able to access the resources. We have not storing any credentials here. But in another machine, this machine, yes, we are storing credentials. Just go to home directory. And if you give ls-a, there we have .aws. And this is with CLI, this is with role. But here we do not have the .aws. So that means we are nowhere storing credentials in this machine, and we are able to access all the resources by using roles. So roles is always secured compared to CLI. That is one of the common certification question. Okay. So again, if you want to share this, for example, so in our coming sessions, we are going to discuss services like a systems manager service. Without logging to our EC2 instance also, we can install applications, we can execute whatever command we want to. So we can perform Windows updates also, Windows installation, uninstallations without logging to EC2 instances. There, we are going to trigger all the commands by using another service called SSM, run command. How it is going to get permissions on our EC2 instances? So it must contain a policy. So in our previous session, what we did, we have installed that like a CloudWatch agent. There we have created a role and we have associated that role to our EC2 instance. That role contained that instance contained that role, that's why it is able to deliver all the information to CloudWatch dashboard, CloudWatch logs. So within your AWS environment, you can use these roles. For our on-premise one, we do not have options. We cannot use this role, but some third-party applications started supporting this another AWS account option. So here, what is that another user's 12-digit AWS account ID? So then in next step, you need to associate the policy and all. And here is an option, switch role option. By using that switch role, he can access this. So give me a minute, I'll quickly share that. We call it as a cross account access. So you can go through this. If you want to establish communication between multiple resources, for example, I'm going to add that to ec2.txt only. So bottom of this, I'm just starting that YouTube link. You can just go through that. User one. So again, I do not have multiple AWS accounts to demonstrate that here, but you know how to create a role, right? So you can use that and you can perform that operation, take that as a task. Or you can share your AWS account one resources to another AWS account resources by using roles. Task 2 is launch an EC2 instance using CLI. Configure CLI in your local machine and try to launch an EC2 instance. Task 3 is configure schedule task. If it is a Windows or cron job, if it is a Linux, schedule task or cron job to replicate S3 data periodically for every, you can take any, for every 5 minutes or for every 1 hour, but take a small time frame and try to trigger that. That is also one of the tasks. Use WinSCP to transfer some files to our EC2 instance. And we are going to use these roles in our all coming sessions, guys. Again, role also contain a policy. Policy is nothing but a document contains set of permissions on our AWS account. So you can just use that. So based on the associate policy only, it will get permissions. So most of the times, whenever we are launching an EC2 instance itself, we will associate a role. Most of the times, we will associate SSM role, System Center Manager role. So you are launching a Windows machine, and that need to join domain directory, domain automatically. Then you can associate a role, and it is going to trigger automatically. And securely, you want to transfer all data between S3 and EC2. Yes, you can use this role, and you can associate without any additional configuration. You are able to access all the data. So we have a couple of questions related to this. So So this is one question. Yes. So use roles to pass credentials. We are nowhere configuring credentials, right? So in that roles concept. So that is one. I think we have another question also. So answer for this. Custom CloudWatch metrics to monitor. To monitor what service we need custom metric. Don't know. Memory. Okay. Right. So these are some questions, guys. We'll look into EC2 questions once we're done with the entire module. So again, if you want to terminate any instance by using CLI, you can do that. AWS space, get the information about your running EC2 instance. AWS space EC2, describe hyphen instances. Must specify a region, hyphen region, AP South hyphen 1. So get your instance ID. So observe, just read this. You will find your instance ID. By using that instance ID, we can terminate this EC2 instance. So this is what my instance ID. So then if you want to terminate AWS space EC2, terminate hyphen instance, then hyphen instance ID, gave that instance ID. Okay, terminate instances, then click on enter. You must specify a region, hyphen region parameter, AP South hyphen 1, click on enter. There you can see instance is shutting down. Previous state is running, current state is shutting down. So by using CLI, I trigger that. So I'm asking you to launch an instance by using CLI. So you can use that CLI reference guide and you can try to perform that. And try to create a user also. Again, based on our requirement, we are going to refer that reference guide and we are going to perform. Again, you really no need to remember all those commands. So understand the mechanism. So we always use roles within AWS environment. Okay. So any questions for me, guys? and I'm deleting this user. By using CloudTrail, we can find what exactly that IAM user is performing and what services he's trying to access. So you can just go here, CloudTrail, and event history. Go here and find AWS access key. What is that access key? You want to give that user's access key ID, select your time frame, and it gives all the options that user is performing. So you can view what exactly happening in your AWS account by using this CloudTrail. Okay, so spend some time and perform those tasks. So with with 2 more sessions, we are going to done with EC2. So make sure you spend some time and you practice, guys.